Toastmasters Brenda, fellow Toastmasters, special welcome to Sophie. Welcome back. It's been far too long, so hopefully we'll see more of you in the next few weeks. My pleasure to introduce and evaluate Shugo's speech for tonight. It is Project 6 of the Competent Communication Manual and its vocal variety. This is a topic or subject that we know that Shugo already excels in. But the preface in the project goes thus, and it's a lesson for us all. Your voice is the link between you and your listeners. It's the primary medium for conveying your message. What kind of voice do you have? Is it rich, exciting, and easy to listen to? All speakers should work to develop a voice that enhances their words and attracts listeners' attention. A good speaking voice has several qualities: pleasant, natural, forceful, expressive, and easily heard. And if listeners can't hear you, or if they find your voice annoying, in short, they switch off. So in short, the executive summary: your voice has a major effect on your audience. A lively, exciting voice attracts and keeps listeners' attention. A speaking voice should be pleasant, natural, forceful, expressive, and easily heard. Use volume, pitch, rate, and quality, as well as appropriate pauses to reflect and add meaning and interest to your message. Your voice should reflect the thoughts that you are presenting. The objectives: to use volume, pitch rate, and quality, and reflect and add meaning and interest to your message. Use pauses to enhance your message. Use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. Mr. Timekeeper, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. So the lights at 5, 6, and 7. Shugo's personal objectives: to maintain eye contact, which he does very well, and to inspire the audience. And basically, a more non-melancholy speaker you would not find than Shugo. So I haven't actually got Shugo's topic for tonight, but it's bound to be interesting. There's no doubt about that. So please welcome Shugo.
TED. What is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word TED? For the British amongst us, it could mean Father Ted. Or if you're a bit younger, you might remember the movie TED. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk to you about technology, entertainment, and design. TED Conference. Toastmaster Brenda, fellow Toastmasters, tonight I want to share with you 3 things about the TED Conference. First, what it is. Second, who these people are who present at TED. And third, how this involves you. So, in 1984, it all started. Someone out there in America decided to hold a conference to have the best of the best people in technology, entertainment, and design. Now, why did they do this? Their mission was to provide a non-profitable organisation true to their slogan: ideas worth spreading. And in their first conference, they featured the first iterations of the Apple Macintosh computer, Sony's new compact discs, and prestigious mathematicians like Benoit Mandelbrot and the influential members of the Digerati community. Now, I don't know about you, but I have no idea who these people are, except they sound very expensive. And indeed, it was very expensive, because after they held their first conference, they went bankrupt, and they couldn't hold another conference for another 6 years. But in the meanwhile, at that first conference, it was so inspirational and so influential that in that 6 years, it started including scientists, philanthropists, religious leaders, and many more, that it went outside of the scope of TED, who started to present regularly in their next conferences that started in 1990. Now, there's one rule, however, in TED, and it's that No matter how influential, how prestigious, or how inspirational you are, you have 18 minutes to give your speech. And once that 18 minutes is up, just like Toastmasters. And that brings me on to who these people are who present at TED, because some of them are ex-Toastmasters. Susan Cain, who is known for her works on introverts, was an ex-Toastmaster. Now, as you can imagine, she was quite introverted in nature, but until she actually decided to attend Toastmasters and she gained some confidence in public speaking, she's now on stage and the world-class leading presenters saying things like, "Introverts, the world needs you and it needs the things you carry. So I wish you all the best journeys and the courage to speak softly." And then there's former CEO of Microsoft, world's wealthiest man and now active philanthropist, Bill Gates, who shares his passion in the education system. Everyone needs a coach. We all need people to give us feedback. That's how we improve. Unfortunately, until very recently, 98% of the teachers got one word of feedback: satisfactory. If all my bridge coach ever told me that I was satisfactory, I would have no hopes of getting better. Our teachers deserve better. If there is one thing... Oops. We'll just go back. If there is one thing that I can convince you tonight, that is to type TED.com in your browser and watch some of the most inspirational and influential members that the world has to offer. Because there are so many stellar examples that we can all learn from and take to our stage. And this brings me on to how this involves you. Now, a TED conference costs $7,250, minus a ticket to go to America, of course, where it's held in Seattle. Now, does this sound intimidating? Well, it gets worse, because not only if you have this money, they don't automatically let you in just because you have $7 grand in your pocket. They interview you. Tell us a bit about yourself. Show us 3 most influential websites that you know, and tell us why you are the best person to spread the ideas. Does this sound daunting to you? Because it did for me. But at the same time, this is an opportunity to be inspired. This is an opportunity to find new role models. This is an opportunity to be exposed to the best of the best and learn from and take that career in public speaking one step further to excel in it. Now, fortunately, TED offers some options, and one of them is TEDx, held locally throughout the world. And this one only costs $125, or if you're 25 and younger, only $25. So for that reason, I applied, I got interviewed, and I was accepted. So on October 19th, I'll be flying to TEDx. So keep in touch. So stay tuned, and perhaps I'll see you there.
Toastmaster Brenda, fellow Toastmasters, it's my pleasure to evaluate Shugo's speech tonight. And I was right, hardly delivered in a melancholy fashion, and topic certainly not melancholy. And a lot to evaluate too. The basic goals that Shugo had and those of Project 6, Vocal Variety, were met and met in abundance as well. Use of voice, volume, pitch rate, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to the message. That was certainly ticked off. Use pauses to enhance the message. Use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. Personal objectives, maintain eye contact. Shugo's very good at that, and I'm sure he certainly inspired the audience with his speech. couple of things that I did note, and it happened right at the very start, and I think a lot of us do it, not only here but out in the wider community too. When we get up here to do a speech or delivery, the introduction, I think, was Ted. Ted! Then pause. And I thought the first sentence, couple of sentences, were a bit run together. So my recommendation there is to Ted! And give the explanation, slow it down, so it all just sinks in, everybody grasps it, then you can speed up and race away. So that, a bit like a song, you know, the first couple of notes, first bar, first chord, that sets the scene. Then you know if you're onto a winner or not. I did feel there's a word there that I'd never heard of before, and I thought there was a need for an explanation. Had time at the end of it as well. Digerati. Is that correct, Digerati?
Digerati community.
Again, we had time at the end of it. Just a quick explanation of what that is. So I presume it's people who are adept with digits and that sort of stuff. You don't know, Shugo?
No. Like I said, I had no idea, but they just sounded very expensive, and they were.
Perhaps a look up there of Google would have helped that. And as I was writing down PowerPoint, many say PowerPoint distracts. That's when the thing overshot the runway a bit, and Shugo had to stop and regather himself, and completely lost control there just for that half a minute. And I was going to say that with Shugo, PowerPoint is part of it, but it just goes to show how any appliance like that, when it does malfunction, you're dead in the water. So that's just one of those things, perhaps unavoidable at the time, but it can just, the momentum, just you lose your momentum. One other thing I did note too, I don't know who did the actual pictures or the layout for the PowerPoint, which was very good, I have to say, but I noted the USA was up here and New Zealand was down here. So I just thought, right order. Perhaps I'm being picky, I don't know. And also, just to wind it up, for us all to not only Shugo, when we're doing a speech, look for the power words, the power sentences, and emphasise those. And the rest will flow and gives you more opportunity for vocal variety, pitch, highs and lows, and pausation as well. So those are my recommendations. Well, hang on, let's a very quick commendation and recommendation. Yes, sort out the power words and sentences and hit those. Explain the term digerati, gone over that. And commendation, excellent pitch, volume. I could hear the smile in Shugo's voice. He always has a smile in his voice. Recommendation, concentrate on the power words and sentences, etc., etc. Commendation, I will commend Shugo for wearing a shirt and tie and a suit. Commend you for that. And keep looking for more words and phrases that are not widely used, and I encourage you for that. So look forward to your next speech. Well done on Ted, Shugo.